Movie, film, or cinema. Whatever you call it, it has become a big part of life for us living in the 21st century. Fun for some, touching for others, messages for others. Now, movies are becoming part of the art genre, entertaining people. However, there are not many audiences who are interested or question these films themselves. When or how did the movie director become a medium for his own performance? Or more fundamentally, what does the movie mean? Or what does it have to mean? Moviegoers, critics, or even film directors. We need to go back to France in the 1960s to follow the path the movie presents.
Lights, camera, action!
Nouvelle Vague, the French New Wave. It is the trend of the French film industry from the late 1950s to the early 1960s. 400 Blows, Pierre le Fou, Breathless, Vivre sa vie. A lot of movies, masterpieces, were born in this era, and Nouvelle Vague's influence continues to reach modern times. So, what is Nouvelle Vague?
Est-ce que le cinéma peut être un métier pur?
Ah, je crois, il est fait tellement de compromis que forcément on retrouve la pureté à la fin.
Aesthetics of singularity, a departure from the causal narrative structure. The appearance of the Nouvelle Vague movie was like a big revolution in cinema. Traditional Hollywood movies had continuity and distinct narratives. The plot was described in context according to the logic of the event's development.
I'm an American, and I've been brought up on American films. I'm raised in American films, which means story and narrative. And in most cases, everything is at the service of the narrative of the story.
On the other hand, the directors of Nouvelle Vague changed the conventional film concept through improvisation, the rapid development of the scene, incomplete story, and sensuous representation of the video.
Whatever books that said this is how it had to be done, they burned them.
They believed that the narrative structure of classical films created the illusion of reality through continuity, and that it was the result of distorting the substance. That's why they believed that the film should be free from a series of causal narratives to reveal a concealed and distorted reality from these visions. As a way of dismantling the continuity of this narrative structure, there are scenes in which the characters in the film talk to the camera as if they were talking to the audience, which they used to reject, judging that the character's natural behavior was defenselessly exposed to the ruling ideology. Secondly, the dismantling of the time structure. The time in the movie is with space. Time forms space, and space has complementary relationships that drive time. Of course, this chronological concept of time has been destroyed, even in classical movies, through the cinematic trick of flashbacks. The flashback appeared as a means of expanding the horizons of film creation, questioning humans' involvement in chronological time. But it also had the premise of accepting the continuity and order of time. Time is chopped, overlapped, past, present, and modernized past, shown before our eyes. In the film, not only are the boundaries of time not clearly distinguished, but they appear mixed up. by subverting and dismantling the stereotyped continuous concept of time commonly found in movies. Various and double complex time structures have been established in the dismantled place. Through this time structure, they dismantled the traditional film language while creating a new film language in film history. There is a film technique called jump cut in Nouvelle Vague, which shows these second characteristics well. Jump cut is the most important factor in destroying a continuous narrative structure, basically skipping the continuous narrative structure to suddenly expand the area of time and space. This trick can be found in Godard's first feature film, Breathless, in the scene where the two main characters were driving in Paris. Only one of the interlocutors came out and the other person didn't. The audience sees and hears only one main character in 4 different times and spaces. What the main character says has nothing to do with what he said before, and the background changes. You'll find that time and space have changed. That is, time and space have jumped. Third, acceptance and transformation of genre. In the movie, the genre is a net of certain formulas that deliver guaranteed products to customers waiting for them. Thomas Schatz said, "A genre is an intimate form of interrelated narratives and cinematic components that constantly reaffirm fundamental cultural conflicts. The characteristics of these genre films are directly opposed to the creative logic of the creators of the Nouvelle Vague film. Nouvelle Vague film creators theoretically re-evaluated genre films, embracing long-standing cinematic techniques, transforming them into celibacy and creativity in their films. Finally, the identification of everyday reality with reality in the movie. Nouvelle Vague movies maximize the effectiveness of creation by maximizing the reality of everyday life and reality in the movie in the course of historical development. This is because the creators of the film Nouvelle Vague began by analyzing the foundation of their creation precisely for everyday reality and life. This is most prominent in Eric Rohmer's film. Known as a moralist among Nouvelle Vague film creators, Rohmer expressed the film philosophy that beauty already exists in the object itself, so the director only discovers images rather than creates and interprets them. He identified the daily life of the real world with the daily life of the movie, so that it would be the same as the various moral ideas and directions presented by the audience watching it. Like this, the creators of Nouvelle Vague have led to a new realm of creation through the identification of everyday reality with the reality in the movie.
Au cinéma, c'est comme ça et pas autrement.
Jean-Luc Godard, François Truffaut, Eric Rohmer, Claude Chabrol, Jacques Rivette. Not only are they outstanding film directors, but they're also from the film review magazine Cahiers du Cinéma. The time when movies were recognized as a genre of art was after Nouvelle Vague. François Truffaut wrote in Cahiers du Cinéma that the film is now going to be the writer's film that the artist realizes. Truffaut's argument is rooted in film director Alexander Ostruch's camera pen theory. Ostruch claims that if a novelist has a pen, the director has a camera. Just as a novelist creates the world with a pen, a film director creates the world with a camera. In this trend, film directors have authority as writers and artists, and these movies made by such directors were called authoristic movies. A director makes only one movie in his life, then he breaks it up into pieces and makes it again. This is a famous quote about the auteurism of film director Jean Renoir. Author theory succeeded in turning people's attention to the more cinematic parts of style and technique, as well as the story and theme of the movie. Another contribution of the author directors is to reflect back on genre films that were hardly even the object of criticism until then. Like this, the concept of auteurism is still the most important and hot topic among movies. The art form has developed with time. Artists continued to create and innovate until Andy Warhol's pop art was derived from Renaissance romantic art. The same goes for movies. until classical Hollywood films in the early 20th century became so-called comprehensive art with literature, art and philosophy. Art demands innovation and transformation, as did Picasso of Expressionism, as did Nouvelle Vague and Truffaut of Autorism. We now come back to the beginning and ask you, what does the movie mean? Or what does it have to mean?